today is gate building day for the fort. And like I said earlier, it's not like building or putting the cart in front of the horse, because I'm going to have a gate but no fence. But over here I've been pretty busy. I've got a bunch of the palisade walls out, and they're going to stay there. They're going to stay as they lay for the winter. A lot more to go. And anyway, back to peeling. It seems to never, my peeling seems to never end. Got my peeling all done for the door. Now all I got to do is build the darn thing. So I'm changing flags today for my persona, which is 1750. So the only flag I could get at the time was this one. So what we have here is the King's Cross. I'm going to talk a wee bit of history about the flags and the British flag, but the King's Cross was just a white background with a red cross. The Scottish flag was a white cross, see the wide one, that runs like this. And I'm thinking those Confederate States of America kind of got their inspiration from the St. Andrew's cross. But in 1801, January 1st, 1801, Ireland, which was an independent kingdom, becomes part and parcel of the United Kingdom. And they had a red cross, a narrower red cross that you see here, which was incorporated into the flag that's still flown today. So now I've got the proper King's colors I'm going to put up for my Kelly's station that is the proper for the time frame. So a wee bit of history. In 1603, March of 1603, Queen Elizabeth dies without an heir to the throne. And in the will of King Henry VIII, he specified Lord Edward Seymour as the apparent heir to the throne. But the ministers for Queen Elizabeth, they sort of ignored that, and they decided to put in place James VI, the King of Scotland. And so he becomes James I, and in his reign, he reigns as both James VI and James I. But he's got a problem. So now we've got a combined country. We've got the King's Cross, as you can see in the flag. We've got the St. Andrew's Cross. And in this proper flag, we don't see that thin red cross that would have been the entry point of Ireland into the United Kingdom. But he's got a problem, because the ships fly flags, and ships can fire on one another if they don't know who's who, and they're all flying different flags. So he proclaims an edict that says that this will be the flag that's going to be flown, and it stays that way, as I mentioned, until January 1st, 1801, when we now have the Union Jack that stays to this day as the flag for the United Kingdom. So this one was often referred to as the King's Colors. Almost forgot. While I'm on the subject of Ireland, kings, aristocracy, it would appear that I got some blue blood in myself. And that can be traced, kind of traced, I guess. It gets a little gray, but back to 357 AD, and King, I'm going to try my hand at Gaelic here, King Cula de Grosh. And apparently that's where I stem from. Also, I find it interesting that a lot of my ancestors, I can actually trace the Kellys. The O was dropped frequently, especially into the 1700s, to, let's see, 1642 in Virginia. They can be traced to Salem, Massachusetts. And a lot of them fought in the American Revolution for America. A lot of them wouldn't want to be Tories. The Battle of Culloden in April of 1746 was still very, very powerfully entrenched in their minds. So any opportunity to fight against a king, well, the Irish signed up. Anyway, that's a wee bit of my family history. Okay, I'm not quite sure how I'm going to construct this. Initially I was going to have big barn doors, like rough out some planks. make some big hinges in the blacksmith shop. But I visited Martin Station and I absolutely loved the gates they have. So I've decided I'm going to put a solid rod through the two posts, and they'll go through these, which will get braced together, a series of smaller, lighter poles. And basically that rod will go through somewhere about there. It's got to have some ground clearance. And what it does is it's going to hinge. The whole door is going to hinge up like this and get tied off. So a heavier part being out there, in the event of an emergency where you got to close the gate, it's going to be tied up by a single rope to a peg. You slip off the rope, the door slams closed, you barricade it on the backside, and you're ready for the enemy. One fort door. And it couldn't have been done if it weren't for my son Shane showing up with two of his really good friends, Karl and Gord, and they've lent a hand because there was some muscle involved in this guy, but I think it's going to work. I got to devise some system to actually raise and hold it in position. That ain't happening today. I got some brush to clean up and stuff like that, but we have a gate and no fence. There you go. Cart in front of the horse.